Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you decided to click on this video. So I decided today that I wanted to do one of these fun TBR board games that everyone does. I look a lot at Allie from All I Do Is Reads, and it's so cute and it's way more complicated than I'm going to make mine today. But I figured I would do it for everyone to see. So I feel like I'm gonna do kind of like I'll put it on the screen what is like my inspiration. But I want to do one that is like circle line. I don't know if that makes sense. This video might never see the light of day. I really am not sure yet. But I thought this would be fun and I'm going to talk about some of the books that I have read recently. So I just hope you enjoy this. Like I said, I don't even know if I'll ever post it. Hopefully that lighting's not too dark, but whatever. I'm just mostly going to be talking. So, yeah. So I got some stickers. So I think I'm going to start writing like Laura's TBR or something at the top, because why not? So I also got a ruler. So I don't really know exactly how that's going to help me at this point because I really don't know what I'm doing, if that's not clear. There is no process going on right here. But we're just going to do it. We're just going for it. So I was like thinking I would talk about some of the books that I've read recently. And my most recent book was absolutely a terrible, terrible book. I hated every page. And that was One Italian Summer by Rebecca Surley. And I read it for my Bar 3 book club and we all hated it for the most part. I need someone to explain to me what the appeal of this book is because literally nothing happened. Her mom and her have like this crazy unhealthy relationship. Let's take a step back. Let me talk about what this book's about. So, this book is about this girl whose mother dies, and she and her mom were really, really close. Like, really, really extremely close in a way that is kind of ick. She says that like she's the love of her mom's life, and that like her dad just doesn't really compare. Like, her dad does not have the same relationship with her mom as she does, which, duh, of course she doesn't, but she thinks her, like, bond is stronger, which is just, like, I mean, I'm glad that they're very close, and I feel like it's great to have a good relationship with your mom, but, like, she refers to herself as the love of her mom's life, and I just think that's weird, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. She, like, doesn't make any decisions for herself, like, when she was, like, with her husband deciding if they were ready to have a baby or start trying for a baby, she like asked her mom if she thought they were ready. Like, that's cool, I guess, for like a second opinion, some insight. But like, you don't need your mom's permission to do that. You're an adult married woman. She was like 30. It's weird. So, anyways, her mom dies. She's obviously devastated. She randomly is like, I want a divorce from her husband, which, like, I get it if you've been unhappy for a while and you've got, like, emotions running high, but it did feel very sudden, and I hope that's straight. It's not straight at all. That's okay. We're just winging it. And so she and her mom had this trip planned to Italy. So she decided she's still gonna go there because her mom had a, like, really, like, magical summer there once when she was, like, in her 20s, I think. Maybe when her mom was 30. And so she's like, oh, I want to see all the stuff that, like, you know, you've talked about and how much this impacted you and everything. So she goes by herself, straight up just, like, leaves her husband and says, like, she's basically like, I want a divorce, and then she just bounces. Which, I mean, justice for Eric. Homie didn't do anything wrong, and so I felt really bad for him. I understand that, like, she's allowed to make this decision, but like, you're going through a lot. And I still think you owe it to him to like talk about it. I don't know. It was just kind of, I didn't like it. So then she gets to Italy. I'm probably going to tell spoilers here because a lot of them are what made me mad. So sorry. So she goes to Italy and, she's sad. She's whatever. Instantly meets a man, obviously, which pissed me off because, like, am I a Puritan? Maybe. But it really, really upsets me in books when, like, or movies, whatever, infidelity is just like such a casual thing. It's just not right. Like, especially when your husband is just like supporting you and being there for you at home. It's just not right. And it doesn't make me feel positive things for the main character, which like we're obviously supposed to be rooting for her, but it makes me not want to. So I didn't love that. That was a spoiler, I guess, later. But like she meets this guy immediately when she's like, I need to find myself. I need to know how I'm doing things on my own. Like I've never, been on my own, and that's the first thing she does. So that pissed me off. She then is in Italy, and she's in this like little tiny boutique hotel in, oh my gosh, why can't I remember where she was? I just finished this book. Anyways, she like basically sees her mom 30 years earlier, like what she looked like 30 years earlier at this hotel. And she's like freaking out, but not freaking out as much as she should be, I don't think. And so we as the reader don't really know what to think either, because we're like, okay, is it time travel? Is she a ghost? Is she hallucinating? Like, there's a lot kind of going on. And so there is just so much description of the setting and what she's eating, which, great, loved it the first time. We literally get to know every single meal this woman eats, every single outfit that she's wearing. And this book is only like, it's not even 250 pages. So like, if there's that much filler, like there, literally, if the book is that short and you have to spend so much time describing meals and clothes and beaches, like maybe you need more substance in your book. Okay, well, so we've got this part done. Yay, Laura's TBR. We're making progress. Okay, so now I'm gonna do some like little like squares, I think, and then in each square I'll write the prompt. So I had a pencil somewhere. Here she is. This video is literally all over the place. I'm so sorry. Okay, so let's start with like little squares. Okay, so where was I? I'm so sorry, Christopher. There's glitter all over the house. So she starts hanging out with her younger version of her mom, and she's kind of weird. She's like noticing things about her mom that are like, she's like didn't know. And that's weird to her because she thought that they were like best friends forever and that like they were like living in each other's brains and were like so close, but she's finding all this stuff out about her mom that she didn't know. Which is like normal, I think. You're not supposed to know every single thing about your parents, especially when they were younger. Like maybe they want to have some secrets. I don't know. I just think that's weird. And also, earlier in the book, she had mentioned that she and her mom never, ever, ever talked about sex, which I'm like, how do you think you are so close if this is like something you haven't even discussed? And I don't know. That to me, that was weird. I made this square too small. My handwriting's huge, so when I go and like write the prompts, I'm gonna absolutely like take up the whole thing and it's gonna look terrible. So it might look terrible anyways, but let's get started on off to a good start. Yes, 1.5 inches is much better. So she gets to know her mom, and you still don't really know what's going on. She also hasn't been able to get in contact with her husband. So the book goes on, and she ends up going over for dinner at her mom's house, younger Carol. She ends up like needing to go to the bathroom for something, and she has to walk through her bedroom, and she sees this photograph in a frame of Katie as a baby. Did I say Katie's the main character? That she is. And so Katie's like, the hell? Like, wait, you're here and you already had given birth to me. It's very bizarre, right? And it's never explained. We don't know how this time travel works. We don't know how anything works. We don't even know that it's time travel yet at this point. So she ends up like getting in a really big like yelling match with her mom in the past because she's like, how could you abandon your baby that you have back home? Like really just going overboard, especially when she's not even really like supposed to know. Like Carol doesn't know that Katie is her daughter. So it's just like, she sounds like a crazy person. When Katie goes back to her hotel, she like freaks out and she's talking to the person at the front desk and she's like, what year is it? And it's 1992. So basically, yes, she has time traveled into the year that she was born, and her mom, when she was a baby, had gone to Italy to like find herself for a little bit. Now she's like horribly betrayed because she's like, how could she do this to me? I know all her secrets. And I was like, well, I guess you don't. It seems like this whole like love of my life was a one-sided deal because she doesn't seem like you were actually her best friend. Tough truths. So that's also why her cell phone didn't work, because she had somehow gotten into the past. She ends up like somehow getting out of the past, and her husband comes over there, and in the meantime she's like been spending a lot of time with this guy Adam, and she like slept with him, and basically Eric, her husband, comes over and is like, I missed you, I came to like show you I proved my love or whatever. And like we're just supposed to accept this. This is just how it is. Like, yeah, okay. Never get any time travel explained. We never really know how this is working, if Carol in the past knows that she's in the past and that Katie is her daughter from the future. Like, we don't know anything. Like, I just have so many questions too about things. Like, they go out to eat all the time. Like, how did you pay for this? Did you have cash? Did you pay credit cards? Because credit cards were not like as readily accepted in 1992. So there's just like a lot of plot holes that I really think this book needed another couple rounds of edits. And I feel like the best way to describe their relationship between mother and daughter, which I did get from someone else at book club, but it made perfect sense, is like this is like, it's like boy mom energy. And if you get what I'm saying, then you do. Like if you know, you know. And it's weird because like she's an adult. Like, I just do not think this is like a healthy way to think about and like be with your parents. And that's like, I have a very good relationship with my parents. But I also think that they know like living 15 minutes away from them, that is not a long way. Katie moves from like 5 houses down, something like that, to 15 minutes, and she's like going through it because she's so far she has to get in the car to go see her mom. It's just weird. I feel like she needs a lot of therapy, and I mean, they need couples therapy as well. Because it seems as though she like wants problems in her marriage, because then she's like, how do I know you're the one if we've never had to like deal with any hardship? And I'm like, I mean, don't you want to not deal with hardship in a marriage? Because I have not really dealt with anything too crazy. I mean, like between us, like we as a couple have been through hard things like deaths and whatnot. But I just feel like, I mean, you'll get there eventually, and at the time then you can figure out if you want to be with this person. But like, I don't know. This was like I didn't enjoy it. So I'm going to move on for that one. I'm going to stop yapping a little bit so I can actually make this thing, because I feel like I actually am not doing it at all. I'm basically just talking. Somehow I just made that square bigger, but I used a ruler, so it doesn't make sense. I measured. This like doesn't even matter, but whatever. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about a book that I read recently that I absolutely loved. And that book is James by Percival Everett. So this book is a Huckleberry Finn like reimagining from the point of view of Jim. So really unique concept. I'm not the biggest fan of like Huckleberry Finn to begin with, but I really thought this was good. It was a really unique take on things, and I wasn't 100% sure if it was gonna be up my alley. I thought like from the beginning I was like, the premise sounds awesome. In execution, I'm not sure like if this is gonna be for me. And I was so pleasantly surprised. So, number one, short chapters. You cannot beat that. So the story is definitely a reimagining. It's been a really long time since I've read Huck Finn. So if it's the way I remember, this does take some liberties and things are different. But I just think that the way that was done was so well, and like seeing how even the like good white people like we're still living in this time where slavery was happening. And if you weren't actively working against it, you were essentially working for it, or just the system. Like, there's a part where Jim ends up joining this, like, musician, like, troupe, and they're singers. They hear him singing as he's, like, doing slave work, and they're like, oh, we will buy you so you can be the tenor in our group. I think it was whatever. And they just like basically put him in like all this white makeup and then put him in blackface so no one can tell that he's black. So he does the performance. I'm sorry, it's a kind of a spoiler, but it's not like a plot point. And, he ends up using this as a chance to escape because everyone in the group goes out to dinner and he can't go with them because he's black. So he's just like left at their base camp. So he goes away. And then when like they get back and notice that he's missing, the like head guy is like screaming about N-words and stuff. So it's like, even though he's like, no, I'm a good guy, like, you're not my slave, like, I believe that there should be no slavery, like, he still, when it comes down to it, thinks that black people are beneath him. So that's just like an example. I just thought this was so good. It was good in a different way than I think I thought as well. I'm like talking in circles, so sorry. I feel like I thought this would be like a slow moving story that would like really take me a long time to get through, but I read this in like a day and a half maybe. And like also I read it with my eyes, which is kind of one of those things that is not a way that I usually read really fast. I feel like normally when I'm reading fast, it's because I have an audiobook, but I actually did have the audiobook. I just didn't listen to it. So I don't know. It was just really, really good. Just the way it was written. So definitely one I would recommend. I feel like I'm going to stop talking now and just do this because I just don't really know if anything I've said has even made sense because I don't know. You think I'm a millennial, right? I should be able to multitask because I can't stop using my brain, but apparently this was too much, doing an art project and also speaking. I really should have made these like funny shapes, like clouds or something, because this is hard. Am I making this harder than it needs to be? Probably. This looks like a mess. I feel like I need to start over. I didn't do a wrap up last month, so I feel like there's so many books that I could talk about because obviously, like, I still read a lot of books. I just didn't talk about them. Let's talk about this book that I read called One Star Romance by Laura Hinken. This was a book of the month pick, and I was so excited because I love, love, love this author. And I've liked her previous books a lot. And I gave this one like 4.5 stars. I thought it was really, really interesting. I liked the characters. So it's about this woman who has been best friends with this other woman since college, and at one of the women's engagement party, the other woman, this is not helpful. If I wish I could remember their names. I think the one is Gabriella or Gabby, and the other is the main character that I don't remember her name. Gabby is getting married, and her fiance's best friend for like ever is really smug. He's a professor, I think, of like contemporary literature. So the girl whose name, this is gonna drive me nuts. Okay, her name is Natalie and the guy's name is Rob. So they kind of have like a drunken encounter where he basically says like, you're not a real writer because she writes for a magazine and like whatever. She just writes her first novel and gets this 1-star review on it. And at the wedding, she basically realizes that he was the one who wrote that review. And she, feels really hurt. And like, I feel like that would always be the case, no matter if you like were close friends with this person or not. It's always going to hurt, which is why I think a lot of authors don't read their like reader reviews. They might read like professional reviews, but like Goodreads, stay away. And so at different events throughout the rest of their lives, they run into each other because this is their, best friends. So at like their housewarming and their baby shower and like the baby's christening and stuff, like they end up like running into each other and kind of having some disagreements, and they just don't seem to like fully get on with each other super well because she basically just cannot get past this whole, like, you gave me a 1-star review, you treated me, like, poorly, basically saying that, like, my writing wasn't real writing. And so, understandably, she's mad, and, yeah, over the course of time, they start to kind of become better friends and get to see each other's side of things a little better. So this was just a nice little easy romance. It's not like super steamy or anything. I think there's a couple scenes, but it was just sweet. It was nice. and funny. She always writes funny books. This ruler has all these bumps on the edges, which it feels like something a ruler shouldn't have. It feels like a ruler should be completely straight on the sides. I don't know. Maybe it's the way I'm holding it, but I don't think so. Here's some exciting news that has nothing to do with books. My company, I think I have mentioned it before, has been in contract negotiations for 5 years. So we were getting kind of close to striking, and my airline and my union have come to an agreement, and we finally got to see it today, the tentative agreement, and then we'll vote on that to see if it passes. And so I'm like very pleased. There's a lot of people that seem to be disappointed in it, but I think it's really good. I think people forget that negotiations are that means you have to give in order to get. So like we can't just ask for all of these new things from the company and expect them to just do it easily. Like it goes back and forth. So I don't know. I feel like people were expecting like the world, but I mean, the kind of raises that are like in this contract would be really significant and really helpful like to my life and finances. And so, I mean, I'm happy with it. We also get some like back pay and pay for boarding. I don't know if I've mentioned it on here, but like flight attendants don't get paid during boarding at all. We get paid a per diem, which is $2.20 an hour our current contract. So that's really bad. And so this would be half of our hourly rate, which is still ridiculous, but whatever. So I feel like that's, I mean, definitely an improvement. And this is like an industry wide thing. So it's not like my particular airline is the only one on this stupid, like, situation. No one really gets paid for boarding except for Delta because they don't have a union for their flight attendants. So basically, their company just tries to like give them whatever they want ahead of time so they won't unionize, and that's gross too. But I'm just it's been a good day. Like I'm pretty happy with what came out, and a lot of yeah, I mean, I don't know if it'll get voted through because a lot of people are mad, but I really am interested to see how it all goes from here because I could definitely use a raise. Here's another funny thing that happened to me recently. So, the movie version of It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover is coming out soon. And the other day, I got an email from a PR company inviting me to like some promo, like influencer events and like early viewing of the movie. And like, it's funny because, I mean, I don't like Colleen Hoover. That's not a secret. And the other thing is that I literally live next door to where one of the events is taking place, and I'm glad I'm going to be out of town because I feel like it would be so tempting for me to go just to like see what's going on. And like I'm obviously super super lucky and grateful to be invited, but I'm just like, ooh, not the girl you think you're looking for this kind of event. So I just found that was funny. I'm finally done with the measuring and stuff. So now I just have to do it with a marker that'll probably mess up. Oh, these are like double-sided. All right, send me thoughts and prayers. If you're asking yourself why I spent all that time measuring and making straight lines in order to not do that, the answer is I don't know. Don't know why I chose to do that. Okay, so we are outlined. Now I just need to write the prompts into the little squares, and then we'll be all golden. Okay, so I mostly think that I'm done. I'm probably gonna add some like decorations, which I'll show when I like do this for the first time. But I've basically got it covered. So my different prompts are favorite genre, under 300 pages, one word title, debut novel, recent purchase, LGBTQ plus, non-US/UK setting, over 360 pages, number and title, new to me, author, colorful cover, 5+ word title, new release, favorite author, published 10 plus years ago, nonfiction, and multiple timelines. I feel like I need to like decorate the edges or something, but I'm such a bad artist. I need an assistant. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it wasn't so boring. If you did like it and like my yapping away over here on books that I've read recently, give it a thumbs up. And hey, subscribe if you want to. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!